welcome. We saved the best for last here for a customer-led demo with Adam and Ben from Copenhaver Homes. And so, yes, we're very excited.
Yes, thank you, Chloe.
So Adam and Ben, I'll let you guys share a little bit about yourselves and Copenhaver.
All right, well, hey, thank you everybody for joining us today. I know it's the last day. You've been through a lot of these presentations. My voice has too, so I'll see how long it holds up here today. But luckily, Ben's got my back up too. Hey, Ben and I have been in business now together with our awesome Copenhaver team here down front for 10 years. We've been Builder Trend users for about 9.5 of those years. So we've been with Builder Trend a long time. It's been quite the investment for us, for our team, and for expanding our business. So over those years, we've gotten a lot of experience with collaborating with other builders, walking through processes, procedures, how we utilize Builder Trend, what do we do, maybe some of the mistakes that we've made too, right? As builders, as communicators, and as businessmen. So today, this is titled Ask Us Anything. So all those lessons learned, tips and tricks from the pros, we've got them, we want to share with you guys. There are some hats up here, so if you want some swag, ask us a question, get some swag, take it home from Builder Trend, and we'll get into a couple of things here related to opening up the hood of the car, so to speak, behind the scenes. Anything else before we get started?
I just have to say this is a full circle moment for me because a few years ago when I used to travel for Builder Trend, I actually got to go to Cope Grand and do their on-site consulting contract, and sometimes we had some fights on how we wanted to do things, and sometimes things were different than how Builder Trend was designed. So this is truly a full circle moment, and also was one of my most favorite on-site consulting contracts because when we should have been learning, they actually took me to go see dolphins in the ocean over lunch. So that will always be probably the most special on-site consulting contract I had.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And I would say for anybody that hasn't done on-site consulting or Builder Trend University, they're all awesome, okay? When you get to go full immersion with Builder Trend, they come on site, they take care of you, your business model, and they show you how Builder Trend's set up to improve your business. So it was a game changer. That was what, 5 years ago? Yeah. And then we did Builder Trend University just this past year in Omaha. Oh my goodness, like another level up after that. So it's been an evolution. Ben and I are excited to share that with you guys today. We're gonna get into a project, but before we do, I kind of just wanna see, of the folks that are standing here, who's thinking about Builder Trend yet? Show of hands. All right, thinking about Builder Trend? All right. Intermediate maybe? Intermediate, anybody intermediate? All right. And then, so maybe what we'll do is we'll keep it high level today, start with the basics, and then you can ask about any of the in-depth, and we can go down the rabbit hole. Also, before we end, we will put up our socials, which come with a direct opportunity to reach us. And I'd really love for you guys, if we run out of time to cover any content, we'll stick around after the presentation today. We'll help you, but also we can get in touch with us later. We've always been open door with collaborating with other builders from across the country, so we enjoy doing that. All right. All right, guys, so just a couple starters here. At Cope Grand, we've got a thing that says communication is always the miracle cure for everything. So proper communication is always the miracle cure. And one of our favorite things about Buildertrend is it's become our number one communication device and number one communication software. It wasn't until recently when we went up to BT this past year for Revolutionized University, and we got to sit with a number of people, and we came to the realization that through our evolution as a builder, we no longer use these other softwares that we were so dependent on. So Buildertrend now is our own software. We don't use things, now we've got Microsoft Outlook, but gone are the days that we rely on a glitchy spreadsheet with formulas that can change and be manipulated to give false outcomes. So when we talk about putting Buildertrend at the hub of our wheel, it really is everything that we need to be an efficient builder. And so we talk about communication being the miracle cure. Now, also this week, kind of just being in Vegas, it's been quite interesting to see how much gambling goes on here. And last night, Ben and I were talking about gambling, and you know, in years past and even still today, I think us builders do a lot of gambling with our businesses, with our processes, with our systems. And over the years, realizing what we were gambling on, creating workarounds in our business and doing things our own way, and not realizing that there was a template that we could use, we were just gambling. And you guys might be gambling too. So maybe as we get into the Q&A here later, if you feel like there's a part of your business that feels like a little bit more chaos, and I continue to have these issues here, and maybe it's client communications, I want you to ask us about that, because the process that we have set up or utilize in Buildertrend is given us over the years predictable and repeatable results. And that has taken this gamble. Are we gonna win? Are we gonna lose? And it's just taking it out of it. So as we get in here today to do the presentation, I wanna demonstrate some of those things. And our team, Ben and I can say, Adam's probably raised his hand 100 times now. When we get confused about what we're doing in our business, we usually put our hands up and we just ask, what does Buildertrend want us to do? And we back up and we get into a different lens and we recreate our process using Buildertrend. Okay, so this is a particular job here that we have. Do you want to talk?
I was just saying, what does Chloe want us to do? I remember the days a couple years ago where Chloe had to hold us down and beat this in our heads, and we finally said, all right, great, we're going to do what Buildertrend wants us to do. And that was a big game changer for us, and it helped us change us as an organization. So thanks, Chloe.
Absolutely.
Thanks, PT.
I wish more people would ask me that. What did they want her to do?
Yeah. Okay, so we do about 6 to 10 homes a year. So as builders, you guys may be doing maybe 100, maybe you guys are doing 25. We used to do 15 to 20 projects, or 15 to 20 homes a year. And over the years, we've been able to scale that back because we've also scaled up our echelon of builds so that we don't need to do that number anymore, which is really important. So we still utilize our lead opportunities, our lead proposals, and then we track everybody that comes in. And even at our scale, you can still lose track of people. So you set up these templates, you set up the processes, and you follow the same thing each time. And this has given us a lot more, what I would call lack of fallout. So your number one cost of sales is not gonna be a software. It's not gonna be the cost of your teammates. It's gonna be the deals that you lose. And so tracking your opportunities from the front end and putting them in the system right away is a really good way to manage that to avoid fallout. Fallout's gonna be the most expensive part of your business in sales. So we utilize that. If anybody wants to get into that, I'll demonstrate it here. From there, we're typically creating, we're creating a phase one. So our phase one is a pre-construction services agreement. Maybe you guys do that too. Ben and I, years ago, never wanted to ask for a contract from somebody before we earned it. But we knew that we could ask them for an opportunity to work with them. Let us demonstrate what we can do. And so we set up a pre-construction services agreement. And over the years, it's evolved. We used to do it at a fixed fee. We then went to a cost plus model. Nowadays, we do a retainer. And I'll show you guys what that looks like here. Let me just open up one. All right, so this is an example of our phase one. I've got to say that as we communicate the same way to all of our clients every single time. So it's not up to Ben and I anymore to communicate to every single client. We wanted to make sure that we were presenting the same way every single time. And the most predictable way to do that is to do the same thing. So if you're just getting started up in Buildertrend, I'd say the investment really starts at templates. Templates being the foundation too. If you're recreating them a different way every single time, you're just gambling with your results, going back to the gambling analogy. So for us, we've got this set up here. And two, if you guys want to reach out to us and see what this looks like, we go down through here, we set up our job proposal, and then we're describing our complete pre-construction process. What are we doing in order to get to a build contract? And what we're doing to get to a build contract is we've got site analysis, so we're going to go out into the site, we're going to make sure that we understand in Charleston what flood zone we're in. We're going to see if there's protected trees. We're going to do the surveys. We're going to do the geotechnical results. We're going to introduce them to architects and engineers that we're going to bring into the design team, and then we're going to get started with the project under a phase one agreement. So the way that we do that now is by hour. This is a service that's set up on a retainer, and so you're not looking for that financial commitment that could be one that doesn't allow a client to go forward. You can say, hey, listen, we're going to do this whole entire process here. Would it be okay if we exchanged our professional time with you in order to develop this information and develop the project? And you're going to get a resounding yes if you're working with the right client. And so our phase one process here is how we do this, and it's predictable, repeatable, and then we bill on an hourly basis using the job clocks through Buildertrend. Okay, once we are finished with a phase one project, we're ready for a permit, okay? We're ready to take that to the next level. In addition to that, we've also developed an estimate for the project, which is going to get signed off at that time. Over 10 years, we have developed our estimates to be pretty robust. So let's get into an estimate here, and I'll show you what that looks like. I can say that the key thing that we do through pre-construction is probably developing the most robust estimate that we were able to do in our market, okay? We've seen opportunities to see other builders' estimates. They might still be kind of an evolution of a yellow pad. They may be an Excel spreadsheet still, or on a Word document. And when I mentioned about gambling on those things, I really mentioned that that's inviting chaos into the next several years of your build, if you've got it, if they're going that long.
Yeah, and while you're pulling that up, I'm glad that you mentioned templates. That's something that you can work with your account manager, your account representative. We both have recommended templates that come with preset information, but you can also work with a representative at Buildertrend to build out your templates. And some of the interesting things is when you start a job, you can select a template and run a phase one, a pre-construction process, all of the scheduling, file folder organization, potentially estimate line items. And then you can also layer on an additional template once you do win that job. So you can have a lot of preset information so you don't feel like you're having to recreate the wheel every single time as the project progresses through its different phases.
Yeah, for sure. And I would offer this too, is each individual template that you do build, we've got a mantra on our team that we're always continuing to try to better our best. Okay, so what did the last one look like? How we can improve it on this next one? And that has really given us the opportunity to level up too. All right, so here's this job estimate. The screen's a bit small. I want to show you guys the details. So I'm going to build out this estimate here. I'm going to print it. And it'll give you the opportunity to see, as we go through, what this particular project looks like. In this case, this proposal, guys, I think is 27 pages long, okay? I'm gonna scroll down here just a little bit. I've gotta show you where the proposal originally started. and then show you a real life project. Oops. Lost it. So a real life project starts out like this. You go through, you estimate it, and then somebody tells you that it costs too much. And then what do? You try to respond to that, because if you don't respond to how does it cost too much, you're going to probably lose the project. This one was that case where we went into it, we were asked to bid this project, and so we were bidding against other people on it. And then the question comes, okay, out of all the bids, guys, we need to cut some money out of the project. How could we do that? And so using Buildertrend and communicating with our software, we put together a revision log. And this is the first thing that we did. In order to respond to all these revisions that were requested to get to a VE budget, we had to keep track of these things. Communication's the miracle cure for everything. And with that, if we're gonna cut money out of the budget, we had to show them everywhere that we were gonna do it. Line by line. Because ultimately this budget is also the budget that goes into the contract for us, okay? So that later on, when we're making change orders or we're making selections, we still have an accurate budget. So how do we end up with 27 pages? You've got to be very detailed. Okay, you really do. And you got to keep track of these revisions that come up on a project so that your project managers, Joel down here sitting with us, he doesn't have to guess what was in that budget, what was taken out of that budget, forcing an awkward, chaotic, gambling decision to be then managed on a job site, which typically doesn't have very good outcomes. Okay?
How many times have we been there in the past where we built a project and the homeowner's like, hey, I thought that was included in my budget. I thought you guys were going to do that. And then they totally forgot about the conversation that we originally had that said, hey, look, originally you guys wanted that, but maybe couldn't necessarily afford it or fit in your budget, so we had to take that line item out or revise that line item. And so this is just a refresher again to say, hey, this is part of our contract. We have all the details in here, because a lot of times you'll have a big divide in between maybe your pre-construction services or your vertical services. So say Adam's on pre-construction and I'm on vertical side. How do we transition that language from the contract stage to the field? And how do we not lose that communication? And this is how we do it. This is how we display to our clients that we had these discussions and this is what we agreed to, and everybody stays on the same page and it doesn't feel like we're hurting feelings anymore. So this is incredibly valuable for us to make sure we present this.
Yeah, a very detailed and robust budget is going to allow you to be accountable for your clients. Being accountable for your clients does avoid the chaos and those awkward conversations that you have throughout a project. One of the ways that we do that too is communicating with change orders. A topic in question came up earlier today related to how do you have conversations about change orders? Well, it's early and often. It's the whole way through the project. And my goodness, if they ask for something that's different than what you have built in your scope of work, we go right in here right away and we put in that change order. See how those are unreleased, guys? Those are conversations that we had with our clients that they were asking for other things, and we put it right in our Buildertrend app in the field and we say, we know this is coming up. We might not know what the cost is yet, but darn sure going to find out later and make sure that we account for the project appropriately. Okay, so we use change orders early and often. We get our clients to sign off on them. We're putting the appropriate amount of documentation in there. Again, too, the appropriate amount of documentation so that we can be communicated effectively. Ben, change orders, anything else to add to change orders?
I think this is a valuable conversation that comes up with change orders, because have you guys ever built a project that didn't have 0 change orders? Or did you ever have a homeowner say, I'm not going to make a change, don't worry guys, we're good, we'll stick to that price point? How many times did it happen? 0. And then where's the clarity of what that change order is? Because most of the time it's a change order that comes in the field, you're walking the project with your clients, and you're like, oh, I was at my friend's house last weekend, I saw this picture, I saw this feature, and I really want to do that. What does it take to do that? Well, maybe in a more extensive point, you might not know. So what we do is we take that conversation, transition it into Buildertrend, through our iPad or through our iPhone, so we don't forget about it, right? So we're keeping that on our foresight of making sure that we have that conversation, we take all the details that we know about their request in the field, and then from that point in time, we can follow back up. And we'll talk a little bit later about how often we follow back up with our clients, how do we communicate with our clients on a weekly basis and also a monthly basis, because again, going back to our original point, communication is the miracle cure for everything, and it's all documented in one place. And that's extremely valuable for us.
Yeah. This project here, if I scroll down, if the wireless signal here will let me, all of our projects start with project photos from the beginning of time. At Cope Grand, at the end of our projects, we'll probably end up with 2,500 photos of their projects. And so this one here is under construction. If I scrolled the whole way down, you would just see the bare lot that exists there in the beginning. And my gosh, is this an awesome tool for our clients to be able to log onto their phone and get regular updates about their projects. So we've used that, we use it robustly, we use it to communicate not only to our homeowners, but our subs and contractors through the job as well. Okay. The secret to everything. A really good job costing budget. And one of the things I want to brag about with this team at Builder Trend is they continue to do the most amazing advancements to evolve the software. So after COVID, Cope Grand went to heavily cost plus format budgets. Okay, and so we were on a fixed price. We got our tail kicked in pretty good through COVID as things were delayed, as things cost more. And so we said, hey, let's just go ahead and avoid that risk and we'll go cost plus. The new job costing budget, Builder Trend responded to our need for job costing through that. And so when we talk about communication, we meet with our clients every single week to discuss the progress of their project. And then once a month, we do a budget reconciliation with them, and we go through, and we're gonna say, are there any red areas in our budget? Red areas mean over budget items. We always have to do something with those over budget items. We do a selection for them, or we do a change order for them. Another thing that's been really cool that Builder Trend did for us is each week our project managers will meet with our clients and we'll cover 5 things. And this is a routine. Okay, we get our clients into the routine of communication and we utilize Builder Trend to make sure that it's synonymous across all the projects. We cover what did we do last week, and we demonstrate our schedule. I prefer the Gantt schedule. We'll go to today. What did we do last week? What are we doing this week? And what are we doing next week? Okay? And then how are selections coming along? So selections is another topic that we can cover if any of you guys have questions. But selections can definitely derail a project, right? Whether you got an in-house design team, oftentimes it's caused by outside design teams. And so we talk about in here is when our selections due. We do phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 selections. And then we also talk about, hey, is the project scope changing at all? So what did we do last week? What are we doing this week? What are we doing next week? Is there any upcoming selections that are going to affect the project? And then change orders. Okay, it's 5 things. Go ahead, Ben.
So talking about change orders again, as this topic keeps coming back up, how many times you get to the end of the project, your homeowner says, hey man, you guys really took 2 or 3 or 6 or 8 months longer than we originally talked about. Now when we do a change order, we have a provision at the bottom of the change order that actually adds days to the schedule. So if you understand, hey look, you can refer back to X amount of change orders, that might have been 10, or that might have been 30 or 40 different change orders, and by the time you start to add up those days, you can help to show your clients, hey, approving this change order is actually going to add 15 days to our schedule. So it's an easy communication later on, and it's not a hard conversation to have to say that, hey, we had these X amount of change orders, and it added these X amount of days to our schedule. Relatively speaking, we're doing still really good on our schedule. Yes, we maybe took 3 months longer, but that's not because our crews didn't show up. That's not because our project managers weren't on site, because we can take you back to Builder Trend. We're gonna cover daily logs today. We can talk about how we did daily logs every single day. And we can also talk about how we did weekly updates with our clients every single day. And then we're also gonna get into our monthly financial updates as well. So helping to provide that communication and make sure that your homeowners can't take advantage of you as a builder. Because what's the worst fear at the end of the job? Not getting paid. You know, saying, hey, look, guys, I didn't necessarily really have a great experience. because these things that you didn't do or provide for us, then I'm not going to pay your final payment. That's a difficult situation. So by doing these things on a platform within Buildertrend, having this playbook helps us to make sure that we fulfill our agreement to our clients and our clients fulfill their agreement to us.
Yeah, and the routine here, as we're doing our weekly and our monthly updates, is we use Buildertrend. We share our screen on Buildertrend, whether that's a lot of our clients are remote, so we'll do it on Zoom, we'll share it, and we'll go through and say, hey guys, we're gonna visit our schedule. I want you to know where we're at here. We're gonna visit our updates, okay? And then we're gonna go into the financial side of things. This is the most important one. Are we tracking on our expenses related to the project? Are we performing? Are we keeping progress? Okay, that's our job costing budget, and all of our invoices paid on time. The most convenient thing too is if we want to get into it, on a cost plus budget, we take all of our bills that are coded to the job and we tag them into the job. So if there's any questions related to that, we'll definitely go deeper into that, but it's a little bit deeper dive. But I think now we might get into Q&A just to address some things that you guys might have questions on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody have any questions on what they've seen today?
We are definitely giving out Buildertrend hats
get a free
for
hat
anybody who's going to
you
ask
have a
any
question.
questions.
Adam, can you talk about your monthly financial update with your clients? Like, what exactly are you showing them, and what are the most important things that they're wanting to see?
Yeah, what I want, absolutely great question. So the monthly financial updates, I want to use Buildertrend to show them what we're doing each and every single month. So I don't want to call them and ask for their trust and just give them an update, because I realize that as builders, we're generally just want to be people pleasers, right? So if a job is going over budget, we usually want to skate over those things. And what we've trained ourselves to do is utilize the software so that we don't do that. And so when we go in, when I mentioned earlier, if we're looking for over budget items, we're looking for those opportunities to talk to our client about that. So if I were to go into a budget update for you on this particular project, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to this month's draw. And this one here happened to be $250,000. And I'm going to go through and describe all the work that we did that month. I'm going to demonstrate all the invoices are here for them to view at the bottom of the screen right here. I'm going to ask if there's any questions related to that. I'm going to go back over to our job costing budget. I'm then going to track for them. I'm going to show them, hey, we're on budget here, we're fulfilling it, and we might be tracking above or under budget here. And one of the things that we do, on cost plus budgets, you guys realize that we go over budget on certain things for certain reasons and we come under budget for certain reasons. You always got to keep the budget accurate. And so when I showed change orders earlier, at Coke Grand, we always keep our budget accurate by showing when there is an update to a line item. And you do that the whole way through the project, so that when you get to the end of the project, if you didn't keep your budget honest, you could find out that you're several $100,000 under budget or over budget. So the key there is to always be solving for the cost to complete. If you guys are interested, Ben and I did a webinar with Buildertrend probably several months back. If you send us the link, I'd love to send that to you guys, because that covers our budget and keeping it honest, a lot more detail. A great question. All right, guys, any more questions? Yeah?
One of the things I'll say about the client portal too is, for people doing cost plus, this makes sense to show this level of transparency on your financials, of course, with your customer, but you really do get the autonomy to decide how much information that you feel comfortable with sharing your customers. So if you guys share the entire schedule, that's what works for you. If you're a builder that would prefer to only share a week look ahead or a month look ahead, again, you have the autonomy to choose how much information you make available to your customer regarding their project.
Yeah, that's right. I asked a question earlier, and I know this is real because Ben and I still have these challenges where we feel like there's chaos in the business or something's not working correctly, or that we're still gambling. You know, you guys out there, is there any questions related to something that we might be able to address and demonstrate today that you might be having a tough time with right now?
Pretty much since you guys started, would you say that this software helped you guys scale and work with subcontractors and material and other people and tying it all together and helping your company grow? Or is it just something that you're using as an asset internally just to say, hey, this is what we're doing today? Has it helped your company grow, and has the communication internally helped you find the talent in your company and who works best for you and where they're excelling by looking at your templates? Does that make any sense?
No, it's a really good question too. I would say 100% Builder Trend is responsible for us being able to create a predictable and repeatable business that has been profitable. And without Builder Trend, the training, the process, the procedures on our team would be unpredictable. And so we'd probably have a lot of chaos. And so I would say, to answer that question, absolutely. In 10 years, we've gone from, think about the scale of it, we'll do $20 million in business this year, and that's just in 10 years. So yeah, absolutely. To go through and have the accountability, the tools, the processes, the procedures, the training that we have on it, certainly the backup out of Builder Trend, 100%.
Absolutely, I would agree. I think it's, thinking back over years working with Builder Trend, how much Builder Trend's evolved. And we always want to say, hey, what does Builder Trend want us to do? The beautiful thing is, Builder Trend says, what do you want us to do? How can we evolve with you as an organization? How can we evolve with AI? So we're looking forward to the things that are coming with AI here in the near future and how that can help and save us time. So really, to answer that question in a brief snippet is 100%, 200%, Builder Trend has helped to liberate us from chaos. And if you think about that, being a builder is a very prideful thing. I wouldn't want to be a builder without Builder Trend, because then it would go back into the tailspin of going back into chaos, the tailspin of like, I never have enough money, because I'm always chasing the next job. My wife's chasing after me because I'm always working all the time. And it's not a fulfilling point in time in our lives anymore. We've got to deal with that chaos. So Builder Trends absolutely provide us with that playbook to say, here's a play-by-play platform that's going to help to make sure that you guys save time and money, because how much is time worth? A lot of money, right? And if we're spending a lot of time redoing documents, trying to work on a couple different platforms to still get around. We talk about workarounds a lot, and this is what Chloe helped us around, because we're always trying to do different workarounds in year 2, 3, 4. We can do this better on ourselves. Back to the reality is we couldn't. It just took us a lot longer, and we made a lot of mistakes, and it cost us a ton of money doing this. So Builder Trends helped to put us in a better financial position to make sure that we are now running like an Indy car. Where we first started, we had a box and a couple wheels. How to try to figure out how to put it together. But Builder Trends helped to supersize our company, our organization, our team to help to make sure that we're working at the top efficiency within the market and helping to make sure that we are the most competitive builder within our market within the Southeast. And that's really helped us. So we can't thank enough Builder Trend for doing what you guys do.
Yeah, just to echo that, when you have the opportunity to demonstrate to a client the amount of information that you develop inside of Builder Trend and then to present that to them, and when you put the time in to develop the templates, when you put the time in to develop the budgets and the details that go along with that, and then you get into a cadence of updates with them, you really do start to build the rapport, the credibility that sets yourself above everybody else in the market. One of the things too that I want to point out is Builder Trend continues to push evolution. So we're continuing to evolve with them really often. I mentioned our weekly project update schedules. What did we do last week? What are we doing this week? What are we doing next week? How are selections coming along? And is there any project revisions? Well, repeating this over and over and over, Kevin did it, okay? They just created, which it rolls out in 2 weeks, Kevin. We had some early bird access to it, but this is client updates. Check this out. This is a AI-assisted client update that's just rolling out for all Builder Trend users, okay? And, sorry, it's not, go back.
Could be the Wi-Fi.
It could be, yeah. It's not pulling up the photos, but let me just go ahead and share what it's going to be doing here. So it takes all of the photos that we uploaded in our Builder Trend that week, and it brings them all up right here. And then it says, did we release any change orders this week? Did we release any selections this week? How many invoices do we have? And it auto-generates the same client update that we just talked about. And the secret to this, or the cool thing about this creates a log. So the whole way throughout your project, we're gonna have weekly updates that go out to clients. Along with those schedule updates, there's no question about how our budget's performing anymore. There's no question about how our schedule's performing. And the whole way through, they stay informed. Because as much as I can get in and talk to clients about it, they can always go back here and reference all the revisions in the project. And so we're pretty excited about this coming up here for everybody. Certainly we've been using it and giving some feedback on this so far. Here's the AI generated highlights. So highlight framing crews are actively working on roof sheathing, preparing the dry-in structure. You guys saw that in the photos when we went through it earlier. And then you've got your opportunity to see what AI is generating for us here, add to it, remove from it, make it even more personalized if you would like before it goes out to your client, which is pretty neat. So another thing that the Builder Trend's doing for us to make us better communicators, better businessmen, and more efficient, which I'm pretty excited about too. Also guys, we went to BTU this past year, like I mentioned. It's incredible, their customer service arm. When you go to BTU, just look at the 100 people over on this one side of the building that are always there to pick up the phone when we call. So we've got a dedicated coach, Paul Nelson, he's the man, ask for him. There's others though too. But we have never not been able to call even the main line, ask a question and get the answer that we were looking for. Oftentimes, we realized that we needed to change the way that Builder Trend was, the way that we were using Builder Trend to do the way, or to conduct the business the way that Builder Trend wants us to do it. And I'll tell you, to answer that question there, it's absolutely made us a better business when we could get out of our own way, when we could stop creating our workarounds and just raise our hands and say, how does Builder Trend want us to do this? And then just do it that way and develop the process around it, train on it, repeat it, and then we had a predictable system with predictable results. We got a large part of our team here today that's available to answer any questions you guys might have. So please stick around, ask us some questions. Love to go through it with you, and thanks for having us.